and here is the full kit setup. Look at this. This is nuts. G'day guys, it's Ralph here, and today I'm reviewing DJI's latest offering into the world of gimbals. It's the RS2 Pro Combo. Come on, it's all in here, and I'm going to explore what's in this epic package throughout this video and show you whether you should buy it or not, depending on what your needs are. And I'm going to give you a really good case for why I bought it and why I needed it, which I thought might help you in your deliberations of such a thing. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe and join our creative crew. There's videos out every Tuesday morning, every Saturday morning to help you get your creative on when it comes to photography. So I'd love for you to join me. You can check out my merch, you can shout me a coffee, you can subscribe below, you can sit back and enjoy, or you can go to another video. Whatever you do, I hope it pleases you. I'm going to get changed, going to set the gimbal up, and I'll be back in a sec. Just not working. Gosh. Oh, it's so good. Hey, I'm back, and here is the full kit setup. Look at this. This is nuts. So it has RavenEye here, which enables you to sync to your phone and use your phone to control it, as well as auto tracking. It has a focus wheel that is just here, and the focus wheel enables your scroll here to focus. You can also use this scroll to affect your ISO and affect a couple of other things. But basically this strap up here goes around your focus ring or your zoom ring, and the motor that sits here is plugged into the gimbal here, which feeds through to the controls here, so you can do that. Also has a phone holder on the side so that you can actually put your phone in there while you're using the gimbal, and if you're auto tracking or you're using your phone as a monitor, you can be monitorized just there. It has a handle here. The beauty of this handle, which you can put on and off, is that you can then take this, you can plug it in there, and you can straight away go into underslung mode, where you can carry your gimbal like so, and you can go low for those kind of shots. Now, all of these are the reason I bought it, but the biggest challenge with any gimbal is balancing it. And the older the gimbals are, the harder they are to balance. So I wanted to make sure that this was going to be easy to balance. So look at all the gear on here. The reason it's a bit haywire is because of my lens cap. But maybe my favorite feature is these little lock buttons just here. So you can just click it there and lock, and you can balance that. You can click it here, look, just by a little switch. It goes down, and you can lock it like that. And hey, you can even lock this, so the whole thing is locked. Now, you'd never have it locked like that. That's for transportation. You turn it off, you can lock up the axis, you can take it in the car to somewhere different, and all you need to do is unlock the axis and a tiny little tweak to make sure you're good to go and it balances. Plus, the range that it allows you to balance in is quite broad. Most gimbals are really narrow. You have to get it exactly balanced right, but this, the range that you need to balance it within, is super handy. I unboxed this gimbal, I took it out, I put my camera on it, and I balanced it from having never balanced this gimbal before in less than 10 minutes. It was dead easy to balance. I stuck the RavenEye on, plugged that into my phone, and that took an extra 10 minutes to make sure that was all working and understand how it works. And then I put the focus ring on, which took probably a little bit longer because it was a bit more fiddly to get it set up, but that would have been 15 minutes to get the focus ring on and working. The software is seamless. It all works, and it's a touch screen device. So you basically load it up. It tells you green says it's balanced. You can do an auto tune to make sure it's bang on, and then you can select what mode you want. It's just stunning. So why did I choose this gimbal? It weighs 1 kilo. This is carbon fiber. And so you can stash it in your bag and you can actually travel with it. My other gimbals have weighed like 3 kilos or more. So at a kilo, that's amazing. It's astounding. It folds up into this much space. So it's actually, you can take those components out and put it in your bag. Another reason I chose this gimbal is you get RavenEye, outstanding. I love the RavenEye, which you attach underneath here, which gives your monitor and phone full access, and you can actually change the way the camera does with that. You can auto track. You can actually use this on top of your hot shoe mount on your camera, separate to the gimbal completely, and create an external monitor that has a bunch of cool features just by using this bit of tech that is about $300 that in this setup is absorbed into the price. It's basically this and a cable, and the cable plugs in to your gimbal. The camera also plugs in to your gimbal, which is really, really important. And so at the side, the reason it's important is so that your gimbal knows what your camera is doing and can basically help it do its job. You also have the focus wheel. I haven't a massive need for this, but there will be a couple of times when that will be really, really important. You have the monitor holder or your phone holder that clasps onto the side, so that's super, super handy. You have a metal tripod. So the other models, the RSC has a plastic tripod. A metal tripod adds a little bit to the weight, but gosh, it's firm, it's secure, you're never worried about it. And you have a touchscreen, and the touchscreen is amazing. So let me just run you through some of the options on the touchscreen. Here's how the touchscreen works. That's what loads up. The green here says that your gimbal is balanced. You can auto tune it by clicking here and go start calibration. Listen. Everything shakes. I love it. Feels like you're about to take off. Very exciting. 60% done. 80% done. Woof! 100% auto-tuned, correct. Confirm. Thank you very much. We can go back to this. And then accessing your follow speed is just here. So you can go slow, medium, or fast. It's pretty simple. They've made it as simple as possible, and you can easily access that. Then if you go to the different modes, pan mode is where it locks all the axes except your left to right, so you can move freely left to right, but you can't go up and down or do a twizzle effect. Then if you go to PTF, which is pan tilt follow mode, you actually can pan, so you can go side to side and you go up to down, but you can't roll. When you go FPV mode, it rolls as well, so it gives you full control and looks a little bit crazy. And then you can have custom settings. But also, if you flip this side, you have a time-lapse setting. You can track. That's what you use when you have your mobile phone, and as a monitor you can use Panorama, so you can set it to take a panorama and it adjusts and takes a shot and adjusts and takes a shot. That's why you need your camera connected to it. You have a time tunnel, which basically puts it in briefcase mode or flashlight mode, and then you can spin around, which is very fancy, and you just wouldn't use it very much. You have dolly zoom, 3D focus, and that is it. And then of course, like with every gimbal, if you pull the trigger, you actually lock where it's at, and the camera stays exactly where it should be, where you want it, and then you can release the lock and go back into where you were. Underslung mode, as I showed before, is dead easy, and it just does it so easy and seamlessly. There's a battery monitor here that tells you, indicates how much battery life you have left. When you're low, you simply plug that into a USB-C. You can take this section out. It all dismantles really easy, but there's never a fear that this thing is going to fall apart. So the other night, and I'll make a video on this shortly, I took this out to do a time lapse in the middle of the night. I put it on my tripod. I balanced it in pitch black. It was dead easy to balance. I put a time-lapse mode where I could shoot, and it then spent the evening shooting this epic pan as the Milky Way came up just to the left of the Gold Coast over the ocean. It was so easy. And I fitted this, I dismantled this and put this in my camera bag so that I could carry it around. I didn't need extra hassle. It takes the camera, so this camera is like 1.2 kilos. It's the Nikon Z6. I've been told that it takes as low as 600 gram cameras, which means my M50 that I'm shooting on now should be able to fit on this with a heavy lens on it. But also what I hope to do with this is put a 70 to 200 on. Now, the cost of it was... yeah, it was expensive, but I bought lesser gimbals and been frustrated And when you go shooting with the gimbal, you want ease of balance and use, and the locks on each of the axes do that. You want a superb finish and experience, which it did, and then you want it to be able to be carryable, so your guns aren't just aching as you lug this around all night. So it has a joystick, which a lot of the Mint gimbals have that, but it has this really cool graduated adjustment for balancing, which I find super helpful. If you're going to balance this gimbal, there's plenty of other videos on the internet that show you how, but you balance this axis first, and then you balance this, and then you balance, let me go all the way around this, and then you balance this. It has forward mode. You can reset it to go forward. You can put it into selfie mode by hitting it 3 times, and it swings around and donks you in the noggin. You can also lock, so you hold that down to lock, and then you have your focus wheel. You can program what you do with your focus wheel. It's completely up to you. And then you have these mounts on either side that are covered up by this nice little black thing that just lives over the top of them, so they're all nice and tidy. But you can put mounts on there on either side, whether that's your handle or a monitor holder or a focus wheel or whatever you choose to put with this. It comes with 1,000 cables, and you need cables. You need like a cable to connect this to the gimbal and this to the camera. You connect your camera to the gimbal with a cable, and then when you use the autofocus, you connect that to the camera and that to the gimbal. So there's cables everywhere, as you would have seen just previously. But I have been nothing but impressed, and I've spent a long time buying subpar equipment hoping it will do the job, and I thought with this I'm just gonna go beyond. I did, and I've been thrilled with it. It's the easiest gimbal I've ever used, and I love it. I love it, so I can easily recommend it to you if you're pondering, should I buy it or should I not? Should I go with the RSC or just the RS2? I went with the RS2 because I didn't need it to fold in half. Moving to underslung mode is simply unscrewing this, attaching an arm and screwing it, as I showed before. It's dead quick. It's lighter. And the other one, whilst it folds up, this detaches and compartmentalizes, is much smaller and easier to stick in your camera bag. So all that said, I hope you enjoy it. I got invited to do a video shoot for Boots for One and All, which is a charity that raises money and supplies and help for those in Aboriginal communities in the middle of Australia who really have been hard done by. And so I had the privilege to donate my services to shoot that, and here's some of that footage so you can see what this is capable of. It's a brilliant gimbal. I highly recommend it. Any questions, put it in the comments below. As you know, this is a gear review, so there's probably some of you going, you got this wrong. All right, put it in the comments below, and check the comments below to see if there's other things that I missed or got wrong that you need to be clear on, that are really, really important. Otherwise, love you guys. Thanks for subscribing. Please like the video and sign up. It's going to be fun as the future content unrolls. Bye. Say that's for this. You take this off like so. Let me just, oh gosh, just loosen all